Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk and this video is about ordinary lactic acid. Now, can you use it every day and do you need to wash it off? Those are two questions which probably came to your mind after reading what it says on the back of the ordinary lactic acid bottles, since it does mention that contact of the product with the skin must be of limited frequency or duration. Now, what does that even mean? Well, first of all, I can already answer one of those two questions. There's no need to wash it off. Lactic acid from the ordinary are basically leave-on exfoliants. You can get the 5% as well as 10%. Both are leave-on exfoliants, which means that if you're going to use it in your evening skincare routine, you apply it to your face, let it sink into the skin, and you're going to leave it on the skin. Do not wash it off. You're then also going to leave it on the skin for overnight, and then once you're waking up in the morning, you wash your face as you usually would. This is when you're going to remove it. But that's basically it. So this is also one thing that I can already emphasize. There's no need to rinse it off after 5 or 10 minutes or whatsoever. Now, when it comes to can you use it every day, and then also reading the sentence off the back of the packaging, what it basically means is that you should not use it when you do not feel the need. So basically, let's say your skin concerns are dullness, you have also maybe flaky skin, you need something that can help you to exfoliate the skin, also want to target dark spots as well as some anti-aging benefits. You can use it for those specific skin concerns, but once those skin concerns have become solved and you have seen some improvements, then there's no need to use the product anymore because there isn't any skin concern for it to also use it. And so this is also important to understand. You shouldn't use lactic acid ongoing over years. You only should use it when you feel the need, when your skin concerns are also matching for using lactic acid. And this can be also be in breaks. You may want to use it a few months, then have a break. Then if you can see the skin concerns are coming back, you may also want to start using it again, etc. But please do not use it ongoing for so many years daily. Now, those are two specific answers that I can already give you. However, I do also want to share with you some real-life examples on how you can also, for example, include it in your skincare routine and how you can also use it when it comes to how often during the week. Now, when it comes to how often you should use it during the week, this does not only depend on your skin tolerance, but also how severe your skin problems are and also how you want to treat it. If it's like all over your face or if it's only like a spot that you want to treat, then it also may change on how often you can use it during the week. Now, I prepared also an example routine which also mainly targets dark spots as well as also smoothen the skin out and also some anti-aging benefits. But with those examples, I do also want to emphasize that achieving those results may be individual, since not everyone has the same intensity of dark spots. This may also be caused because of the sun-damaged skin or also because of previous acne spots. So you have to keep in mind that this can be very individual. However, I do want to give you some realistic examples at the same time. Now, I want to get started with an essential morning routine to keep your skin healthy, smooth, and protected. Now, you may wonder, why do I need to know an AM skincare routine when I'm using lactic acid in the evening? Is there any thing that's connected to it? Well, yes, it is, and that's why I'm also going to share it with you. First of all, here's just an example routine where you can also get started with your cleanser as your first step, move on to your toner as your second step. One that I can really recommend is from Paula's Choice. They have great toners in case you're wondering for a recommendation. Then move on to your moisturizer, and then lastly, your sunscreen. Now, why is it important? Well, first of all, lactic acid, when also including it, even though if it's your evening skincare routine, it is important to protect the skin with a good sunscreen during the day. Since lactic acid exfoliates the skin and it also can make your skin sensitive to the sun, since it's revealing the new skin underneath, which is still a bit sensitive to the sun. So therefore, protecting the skin when using lactic acid with a sunscreen is important. But then if you're also concerned with your dark spots or hyperpigmentation in general, as well as getting older and experiencing fine lines and wrinkles, Using sunscreen for those two concerns as well can be very beneficial. It does not only give you some anti-aging benefits to keep you younger looking, but at the same time, if you have already some hyperpigmentation on your face that you are currently trying to also solve when using certain products like lactic acid, then it is also important to protect your hyperpigmentation so that it's not getting worse. But while you're working on it, it also can help you to keep your skin clear and not experiencing any hyperpigmentation spots like during that phase. So that's really important to understand why a sunscreen and why your morning routine is important. You can also keep it fairly simple and just cleanse your face and use your sunscreen. This is fine too, as long as you're using your sunscreen to protect the skin and use a cleanser to wash your face. That's basically all what you need. If you want to know more about how you can set up your specific skincare routine for your skin concerns, I have a video for you in the top right corner, which also may be interesting depending also on what skin concerns you want to treat. Now, when it comes to the evening skincare routine, again, this is just an example skincare routine, which I'm going into, and I wanted to mainly target dark spots. Now, the reason why I wrote 1 to 8 weeks on the top is because this is a time where you may already see some improvements, but again, this is very individual. So therefore, this is just an example again, how it worked for me. But maybe when using it on your skin concerns, you may already see improvements earlier or also later. So you have to be very patient. This is also what a routine could look like. Again, since we're using lactic acid, since this is a leave-on exfoliant, it is important to get started with a gentle cleanser, such as the ordinary squalane cleanser. Please, when using lactic acid, avoid any cleansers with high percentages of AHA or BHA, and always use a gentle cleanser in this case for your PM skincare routine. Then again, move on to your second step. If you want to include a toner, use a beautiful toner for your skin needs as well as your skin type. Then you can move on to the exfoliant. Then you can also move on to your serum, such as, for example, niacinamide, and then lastly finish it off with an oil. Again, this is just a realistic example routine. Depending also on what serums or maybe like serums that you also want to include after your exfoliant, which doesn't have to be niacinamide, can also be any of the other serums. Please always check the Ordinary website under their regimen guide to also know more about the specific conflicts, since when changing, for example, the serum with niacinamide, you may have conflicts with lactic acid. So this is something that I do want to emphasize. Now here you can see an example where 2 spots were treated, and you have like the first week as well as what it looks like after 8 weeks, and there are 2 spots. Now on week 1 you can see that the 2 spots are quite visible, whereas after treating them you can also see that after 8 weeks it is not as visible anymore, especially also the circle where there is also a 2 above. This one is completely gone, whereas the first one is still a little bit more noticeable. It is reduced, but you still can see it. Now, what should you do after 8 weeks of continuously using the specific products to target those concerns? First of all, I do want to mention that again, you don't have to use lactic acid all over your face. And you can also use it only on specific spots, which may be on your face, neck, décolletage, wherever you feel the need, you also want to treat it. Now, if you're going to use it as a spot treatment, you may be able to also use it on a daily basis in your evening skincare routine, since you're only doing it specifically for those concerns. However, when using it also on your all over your face and neck, you can also use it probably daily. This depends, however, also on your skin tolerance. And this is where it may change. When using it as a spot treatment, you're more likely to also use it daily, whereas when using it all over the face or neck and décolletage, you may want to adjust it to your skin tolerance. This is also really important to understand. Now, after 8 weeks, what could you do? Since you've seen that there are some improvements, but it's not completely gone. Well, in this case, you could go ahead, if you still see that one spot is noticeable but the other one is gone, then don't treat the area where the other one is already gone. There's no need for it, since there's no concern anymore. So what you can do instead is just treat those areas that still need to be treated. So in this case, it only would be one spot instead of treating 2 spots. And this is also important to understand, that if you see that you have also solved the problem of your skin concern when using, for example, lactic acid, then there's no need to use it any further. Or you may want to reduce the frequency of it whenever you're using it during the day. Whereas if you can still see that there are some certain spots that you want to treat, then keep on going with it. Your routine in the morning can be fairly the same. You may change it depending on your skin concerns and also what you prefer. However, when it comes to your evening skincare routine and you have already seen some improvements, then you may also want to change your evening skincare routine based on the results that you have seen after using it, for example, daily on specific spots. And this is also what I want to get into specifically. So let's say with the example that I showed you earlier with the pictures, you saw that one spot I've seen improvements, whereas on the other spot it's still noticeable. So what you could do is, instead of using lactic acid still on a daily basis, you may want to reduce it to only use it once or twice per week. Or you may want to stop completely with it, so you can also leave it out and then just continue with the rest of your evening skincare routine. So this is fairly individual. However, I do want to give you a realistic example on how you can properly figure out how you can adjust it based on the changes in your skin. And again, if you're going to also change your evening skincare routine when using, for example, lactic acid less often, you may want to also consider using a different routine when not using lactic acid. And this may also be specific to other skin concerns, or you can again keep it fairly simple with just your cleanser, toner, oil or moisturizer if you prefer to. Now it's important to also remember that in the evening there's no need to also use the sunscreen. It is only needed during the day to protect the skin. Now, I do also want to be very specific when it also comes to the question, how often can you use it? If you would use it all over your face, maybe also neck and décolletage, to also target specific concerns. Since all over your face, neck and décolletage, not every skin area is going to be the same. Some areas are a little bit more like irritated and sensitive, such as around the nose and mouth, whereas maybe on your décolletage you can use it also more often. So you basically have to listen to your skin when it comes to how often you can use it. Again, if you're using it on larger areas, you have to try it out. You have to try out and find your right balance. You may want to start off with using it 2-3 times per week. See how your skin is going to respond to it. And based on that, you're either going to also use it more often once your skin also has told you that it's well tolerated, or you may want to keep on going with using it only 2 to 3 times per week, or maybe less. Again, this depends on what you want to target and also how your skin is going to react to it. There's no right and wrong on how often you can use it during the week. It's all about how your skin is going to respond to it and your skin concerns. So please try to find out the right balance. Start off slowly so that you also have an idea of how you're going to feel about the product, how the product is also going to behave within your skin. And then based on that, you always can use it more often or less often depending on those concerns. Now, I do hope that you also enjoyed this video and that with those 2 questions that I could also answer them with the example routines, with the example pictures on how you can also go ahead and adjust it based on your skin needs. And also, if you want to see a specific video about the application of the lactic acid 5% as well as 10% and how you can also include it in your skincare routine, I have 2 videos at the end of this video which you can find on the sides, and then you can also see how I'm also applying it on my face. So I do hope that this was also a helpful video. If you like it, please also don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And thank you so much for watching and listening to me, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!